Hey there, welcome back to Ask Amy. The question today from Yomna. She says, I've been binge eating on and off, mostly on since my mid teens. I'm now in my mid 30s. I'm sick and I'm tired, and I know better. I stumbled upon this understanding 7 years ago, and it's transformed so many areas of my life, particularly in my marriage and with my 3 kids. I'm so much more resilient, and I'm no longer chronically depressed. That's awesome. But with food and a few other little things like phone usage, I'm still stuck. I've tried writing eating contracts, getting help for my poor digestive health, going on diets, and swearing oaths upon myself. All temporary fixes backfiring with even more intense binge episodes. Yes. I've recently discovered your work and listened to the Little Book of Big Change 5 times. I felt very positive and inspired, but I still can't shake this eating thing off. Also, whether binge eating or not, I feel like I can never catch my breath. I feel inundated with all the things I need to do, and I can never do them quickly enough or well enough. Regardless of how much I plan or how focused I try to be, I always forget something or find my day just unraveling, and I get very disheartened. However, with outside in thinking, I'm able to get up and keep moving, which has been very positive. What am I not seeing, and why can't I just see it? So, thank you for sending your question. A few things I want to mention, and I just want to say some of these things to kind of start to shift you in a slightly different direction, um, because it makes a huge difference. Like what we're looking toward, it's so big and so simple, but it's really like each of us, I think, sort of has these moments where something just kind of clicks. It has nothing to do with work. It has nothing to do with effort. It's just like we just hear something in a way and it clicks, or we have a new thought and it clicks. And it sounds like you've experienced that, right? So you've had a lot of change around your marriage and no longer being chronically depressed. I mean, that's huge, and stuff with your kids. So I'm guessing, and you look for yourself, but when you look back to those things, you didn't, I'm sure there was effort involved at times and all of that, but maybe you can recognize how there was something that just landed with you, and not even about these subjects. So not like an insight about the kids or about the marriage or about the depression, but over time how it tends to go is we tend to sort of look back and see, wow, things are different. Something just clicked, something landed, something shifted, and now I see things in some areas of life in a really different way. That tends to be how it is, which is awesome. It's awesome that it works that way. And it can also be frustrating when we're saying like, "Oh, but I have these two things I still really really want to change, and I keep looking at them and looking at them and looking at them, and why aren't they changing?" Well, that's not how change happens. It doesn't happen by continuing to look at the same thing. In fact, that's kind of a recipe for change not happening. That we tend to feel really stuck when we look with the same eyes, we look at the same issues over and over and over again and try to push it a little bit, try to do things to make them change. It almost never works that way. So think back to how things landed naturally, and I don't think about this intellectually or analytically, but just reflect a little bit. I'm like, wow, in the 7 years since I've come across this, there have been things that you can't put your finger on, but things have landed and clicked, and then change has happened in some area of life. And see if you can notice the effortlessness of that in many ways, and look at how you may be using this, trying to use this understanding to now help with the binge eating, and see if you can feel the difference. Are you thinking of binge eating, or feeling busy in life and never being able to kind of catch your breath and get caught up in the same way you were thinking about the depression or the kids? I mean, I don't know. Just see what you see around that. So one thing you say in here, you say you listened to the Little Book of Big Change 5 times. It feels positive and inspiring, but you still can't shake this eating thing off. So I'm not trying to be the word police. The words don't matter at all. But I just want to offer this in case this shift is really helpful. This stuff, as I was just saying, is not for us to shake off. When we come at it, and of course we do, it's so understandable that we do, but when we come at it as if it's a problem that we need to try to see something around and shake something off, it almost always makes it harder and just more complicated. And it leaves us just staring again with the same eyes that we've always had, staring at this thing that looks like such a problem. So I really, really, Yamna, want you to kind of see if you can consider like, okay, this is not my thing to shake off. It's not my thing to shake off. I'm just going to keep seeing how life works. I want to just keep getting curious for myself of like, wow, if I'm total peace and health and all is well and all experience moves through me all the time, what's going on when I'm binge eating? What's different there? What am I not seeing there? Like, this is your exploration to kind of do, and I would love for you to do this with someone. It can be super helpful. But that's like a thing. So again, it's huge actually. It sounds kind of subtle. It might sound like I'm just being kind of picky about the words, but it's a big shift to come at this in a way where it's like, oh, it's my thing to change and I haven't been able to change this thing yet, versus to just really be in a place like, okay, if this is true, what's up? What's up with this? Why is this thing lingering? What's going on there? And being really, really open, asking those questions, but not answering them. Letting things show up that point you in a direction. I mean, at the end of the day, we don't like to feel stuff. Every one of us, every human on earth has a habit of jumping into our heads, identifying with thought, and trying to decide how things are going to go. So all these things you mentioned, the diets, the oaths that you swear upon yourself, the contracts, all of that. I mean, man, I hear you, me too, at one point, but all of that is like going against what is in life, and it's so well-meaning and understandable. This are the things we've kind of been told to do. This is what we've been pointed toward. But it's like, wow, if there truly is no problem, there's just us thinking there's a problem and then trying to manage it and control it. An oath or a contract, I mean, that requires a problem. For an oath to make any sense or a contract to make any sense, you're like, all right, that's the epitome of willpower, right? There's a problem and I'm going to beat this. And I would love for you to just start to flip that and just consider like everything's moving. So what's going on when I don't like this feeling so much that I'm going to go binge eat instead of just being with what's moving through? It's the same thing, obviously. This is all the same thing. It's all related. When you talk about feeling inundated with all the things you have to do and never doing them quickly enough or well enough, and you say your days just are unraveling and then you get disheartened, I want you to consider, and this can sound like a cliche, but really see if you can kind of hear this, that there's no problem with your days. It's not that there's too much or you're not managing things well. There's no problem with how you're even going about your days and all of that kind of stuff. The issue, there's no problem with any of it, but the issue, perhaps, and you see what feels right to you, is all of this expectation. This is how my day's going to go. This is what I'm going to get done. This is how I like it. This is how I don't like it. We don't even recognize half of that stuff. A lot of it we do recognize. Like, I'm sure as I say that, you can notice, yep, my mind's totally like, here's what needs to happen. And it doesn't feel like a preference, right? Like our mind will say, no, this has to happen so that can happen. Or this has to happen because I don't want a messy house, or I don't want that outcome, or whatever. But feel the pressure of that. This is a mind that's been doing this our entire lives and just selling it to us as if it's absolute truth, as if, of course, this is how it has to be. But it is thought believed. It is thought identified with. And it comes up with rules and expectations. It does it around health and binge eating, and it does it around your day. And it is tough. And these are standards that maybe are just not rational, reasonable standards, and they're not going to give you what you think they're going to give you anyway. We cling to all this because we think, oh, if my day can go this way, or if I can eat that way, then I'll be okay. But the invitation is to be okay now. The invitation is to see, okay, what if there's no problem? Let me be curious about what feels like it's coming up in my path. Curious, not judgmental, not let me oath it away, let me plan it away. Curious and just looking at it. And I think really seeing that your days aren't unraveling, they're unfolding perfectly, but your mind is up here saying, I'm not okay with this. This is not what I had planned. And this is a beautiful lesson. Like, we all learn this lesson billions of times, because your mind is not in charge of life. And when it thinks it is, we will suffer 100% of the time. And again, we all do. So I hope this is helpful. I would love for you to join us in the Little School of Big Change the next time around. Find a coach, like, because so much of this is just little simple things. And you ask, what am I not seeing and why can't I see it? We can't see what we don't see, but they're not big things, Yamna, I promise you. They're little subtle ways of seeing this in a softer, different way that would open up so, so much. So thank you for sending your question. Thanks everyone for listening, and I'll see you back here next Monday.